What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I appreciate y'all coming as always. I got another good one for y'all today. All right, so I've been watching the comments. I haven't missed anything. I see y'all, especially y'all, all my Aussie friends. Hey, I see you. I have had so many people hit me up and be like, hey, we want to see the band. The band played Waltzing Matilda. Guess what? We about to see the band played Waltzing Matilda by Eric. I'm probably going to chew his last name up, so y'all don't hit me so hard. Some of y'all are ruthless, by the way. But anyway, Bogle. I'm sorry, okay? My bad. Eric Bogle. That's what I'm going with. Bogle. I don't know. Anyway, without wasting any time, let's check this out. I'm eager to see because y'all keep talking about it and y'all really like the first one that I did. So let's get it.
I wrote this song in 1971. Now, the mathematicians will work out that was 38 years ago. Can't believe that, but this is how old this song is. And I wrote it after I saw my first ANZAC Day march in Australia, which was in Canberra in 1971. And I wrote this song, and here it is. Next year, John and I celebrate our 30th anniversary together. I bought him a gold watch.
That was nice.
I bet you're glad I came into that Salvation Army hostel.
And rescued me.
That's
now,
pretty.
when I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life on the roller. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, oh, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time you stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war.
So, obviously, 1915, that World War One. World War One was brutal. World War One was super brutal for pretty much any country, every country that was involved, regardless of what side you was on, because that was when World War One was when we were learning how to fight with artillery and tanks and stuff like that. It's like those kind of things were that was when we were first kind of starting to play with those things against other countries and stuff. Not just us, but other countries also. And it's like nobody really knew back then how to fight against or protect themselves against those sorts of things. So that made that war, World War One, that made that a very, very, very bloody war. And then all the way up until World War II and even Vietnam, nobody really wore armor. Like there was literally no, like, besides a helmet, right? Because the flak jackets didn't even come in till later on. So it's like, yeah, they had a helmet on, but it was just made out of metal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't really protect you. It just gave you a kind of a false sense of protection, I guess, would be really the best way to put it.
Away to the war, and the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay, and amidst all the cheers, the flag waving and tears, we sailed off for Gallipoli.
All right, so I seen somebody mention in the last video, or in I was only 19, Red Gum. I seen somebody, I don't remember who it was, but they posted saying that, you know, there was a lot of things that was said that only Australians would pick up on. I get that. And it's probably because there's some things that this guy's saying, I feel like I should know it, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I mean, I would never be able to pick up on that because I wasn't raised in Australia. And how am I to know what to Google? You know what I'm saying?
For Gallipoli, how well I remember that terrible day, how our blood stained the sand and the water, and of how in that hell that they called Sula Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turk, he was waiting, he primed himself well. He showered us with bullets and he rained us with shell. And in 5 minutes flat, he'd blown us all to hell. Nearly blew us right back to Australia. But
I think I remember reading somewhere there was something along the lines of World War One. It was like 156 or 150 something thousand Australian soldiers. And this is just some stuff that I've read in passing since I did the first video, Red Gum's video. But it's like some 150 something thousand Australians that were injured in World War One, and then something 50-60,000 soldiers that were killed in that war as well. And which it just sucks. It really sucks. That's a lot. America had a lot of losses too. America had a ton of losses, and we just kept sending people and sending people and sending people. But that, like I said before, that was World War One. World War One was a tough war for literally everybody. So I don't think any country was safe from that war at all. At least not the ones that were involved anyway.
the band played Waltzing Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs. Then we started all over again.
That's pretty much how it worked.
And those that were left, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big turkey shell knocked me arse over the head. And when I woke up in me hospital bed and saw what it had done, oh, I wished I was dead. Never knew there was worse things than dying. For I'll go no more waltzing, Matilda.
Okay. He got blown up, which is obviously terrible. But he got blown up. Artillery hit him, and he got blown up. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that watch this and I understand. I have an understanding of what it's like to be blown up, and it's not fun by any chance. You kind of lose the immediate response to that is you kind of like reality kind of goes away for a few seconds and you just kind of don't understand what just happened. And then reality finally kicks in. If you manage to stay conscious through it, that was my experience. But if you're close enough to it, the concussion will just knock you out. And you'll wake up and it's like somebody just right, and you just wake up and you're like, oh, what just happened? And then reality eventually starts to sink in as you kind of self-evaluate your situation and you realize I'm not where I was. And like in his situation, I'm not where I was. Everything is different. I want to see how far this goes.
For I'll go no more waltzing, Matilda. All around the green bush far and free, to hum tent and pegs, a man needs both legs. No more waltzing, Matilda, for me.
Okay, so no more waltzing. Now I understand. He lost his leg and or legs because it's hard to dance without a leg, or especially without both legs. There's a lot of people that are out there that would rather not live than to live without their body parts that is required for, daily usage, for daily activities and stuff like that. Tough. There's some people that even just with just loss of their legs, they still have their arms, their head, and everything else. Of course, they have their head, but even with everything else, like they still feel like a vegetable. Like it takes a very strong person to understand and be able to have that resiliency to want to continue to push on, even though they've lost that, and overcome it. So, but almost every person that I know that has gone through a similar situation to this, they just had rather not, at least at first anyway. And then eventually they would find some purpose, a way to cope, or a way to be able to spread awareness of some sort or whatever, and then find that, driven purpose to push and keep keep going.
So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship sailed into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve, to mourn, or to pity. But the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood and stared, then they turned their faces away.
I wonder if that is in reference to how the soldiers were treated when they returned, because I know it wasn't just America that when the soldiers returned from war where they were treated like terribly. I know a lot of people usually reference that to like Vietnam and how like that whole time frame and everything that was going on in the world at that time. But I wonder if that's what that reference is to.
Faces away. And so now, every April, I sit on me porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old...
I wonder... Oh, shoot, what is it called? ANZAC Day? I think that's what it's called. I've seen a couple of people reference it. What the crap? But ANZAC? I'm probably y'all are gonna correct me. I know y'all are. It is what it is. I'm sorry if I chewed it up, but you have to understand this is not a phrase that I'm used to. I understand y'all think that I'm supposed to like know, but I'm human just like everybody else. I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But moving forward, I've seen a couple of people reference this, and I think my memory serves me correctly, is ANZAC Day that he's referring to. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. By all means, correct me in the comments. Be respectful.
Comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams of past glories. The old men march slowly, old bones stiff and sore, the tired old heroes from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for?
That's the saddest thing ever, dude. Oh, so it's hard for me to think that in, what is this, July? It's been almost 20 years since the first time I was deployed to a combat zone. And it's hard to really think that. And there's kids today that like they're going into their senior year of high school. There's some that just graduated high school months ago. You know, it's like there's those kids were barely into this world at all while I was in Iraq. That's just so hard to think. And now and to this day, it's like they're like, well, what'd you really do over there? And it really breaks my heart, because there are service members from years and years past that those wars, like, it just the forgotten wars. It's hard to think that for all the sacrifices that have been made in this world through the men and women who have put their lives on the line to pay the ultimate price, it's like, no matter what you do, there's going to come a time where their names will fade into forever. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just, eventually that happens.
And I ask myself the same question. But the band plays Waltzing Matilda. The old men still answer the call. But as year follows year, more old men disappear. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And their ghosts may be heard as they march by that billabong. You come a-waltzing Matilda with
This is really pretty. This is really pretty.
Thank you very much. God bless.
I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. And I didn't miss what he said at the end, by the way, where he was talking about where the kids would come up and ask why he went, and then he would ask himself the same. That happens. It happens for sure, because as time goes by, it's like you look back and it's like, why did we really go to that war? Why did we really have to fight that fight? It's like, I still understand today why, but with all of the stuff, like as far as like the wars that I went to, but the question still plays a bit in your mind. It's like, well, why did I go? What was the real purpose? I still hold true. You know, when 9/11 happened, the way I look at that, right? That to me was the equivalent of somebody walking up and slapping my mom in the face, right? While I was standing there. And it's kind of like, do you just let it happen, or do you do something about it? That's the way I view it. Forget all the weapons of mass destruction. Forget all of the whatever BS reasons that you heard through the media, nobody walks up and just obliterates 6,000+ people in one go, and you do nothing about it. That was my purpose for being in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, was that America's purpose? I don't honestly really know. There was so many different things that I heard through all that time. I don't know. Anyway, as far as this song goes, World War I, it's like I said a little while ago, that was a super bloody war. We were just, everybody, the whole world was just learning how to use artillery in a wartime scene, as well as learning how to use tanks, like this heavy firepower. And it killed a lot of people. And then, not to mention like the heavy machine guns that were involved at that time as well. It's like, it turned really ugly for a lot of people. Anyway, I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate all of you that suggested me watching this. It was really beautifully put together, and I really enjoyed it. So if you enjoyed watching this, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that sub button and hit that bell so you don't miss another video. We'll see y'all in the next one.